Welcome to the Dr. Juanita Wallace Show. I am Juanita Wallace. I dream, I speak, I take action. I'm provocative, fearless, outspoken, and an activist by nature. We preserve the past. We reflect the present and shape the future. This show is for you, my viewing audience. We market your business. We sell your goods. We rebrand your image, promote pride, respect, and harmony. We inspire and challenge our youth, deliver news and views. We'd like for you to view us at YouTube, the Dr. Juanita Wallace Show. Today we have Dr. Deborah Ishtyme Robinson, a devoted mother of 3 children. Her daughter, Ahjah Dixon, lost her life March the 4th, 2010 in Corsicana jail. Let's talk about her reason for being in Corsicana.
Hi, Dr. Wallace. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
I'd like to just share briefly a little information. Ahjah was visiting her grandmother in Texas and decided to take some courses at Navarro Community College in an effort to gain more credits prior to returning to New York City. So she was there on one semester.
Well, thank you. Now, her skill sets in her major, or maybe since she's just there on a temporary basis, what were her skill sets? What was she actually involved in?
Ahjah was a theater major.
Wonderful.
She had been acting as a child since the age of 3. So Corsicana, Texas has a theater program, which is why we selected Navarro Community College, because of its theater program and also the close proximity it was to my mother's residence.
Well, there is a piece of information that I want to share with you, maybe, and certainly with the listening audience, because I want you to know how dear this child is, but I also want you to know what happened on the day before she actually passed away. On March the 3rd, the campus police were called to her dorm room for a seizure of drugs on her person, told of her erratic behavior, and escorted her to the ER in Navarro Regional Hospital. There she was diagnosed with suicidal and released the next morning. Campus housing was contacted her mom, who was greatly concerned about her tone of voice and emotional state. Later, the police informed her mom that Ahjah was being placed under arrest for possession of a controlled substance. Prior to and during her arrest, they put her on an alert by Ahjah's mother that she is potential danger to herself in lieu of her mental health status and current crisis. Therefore, she needs to be monitored while in their custody. An hour later, her mother, as she proceeded to Corsicana, Texas, was informed that Ahjah was in the hospital. 30 minutes later, Mom was informed that Ahjah had passed. My response to that is that someone has to be accountable for that accident, deliberate incident, or whatever the case may be. But I'm also saying to us, we have to move beyond that. We have to move to a place where we feel safe so that we can talk about Ahjah and remember her for what she really was, a wonderful theater major young lady. And I say to the mom today and to the listening audience, we have to be very careful on how we interact with our children. We have to be very careful in how we allow other people, law enforcement, to interact with our children. So we are commemorating Ahjah Dixon 4 years after her passing. And we're doing that because what?
Because since March 4th, 2010, we have not been able to get any type of justice for Ahjah. We have exhausted our resources within the framework of the judicial system. Corsicana has basically shut us down. And we have also discovered since Ahjah's death that there have been 4 other deaths at this same jail preceding Ahjah's death. So we are here, I am back in Dallas, trying to raise awareness about the conditions of injustice in that particular town to get justice for future students that may come into their hands, the hands of these egregious law enforcement officials.
So that Ahjah's death would not be in vain. There's one other thing that we've talked about, and I know we're going to be doing very soon. As a matter of fact, this coming Saturday. Tell us about that.
Well, since Ahjah's death, I have been able to network with a group of activists in the city of Dallas that come from the Pan-African community, which I want to just thank so much for all of their support. And we have collectively birthed a foundation in her honor, and it's called Mothers Against Youth Genocide. And this Saturday, we're having our kickoff for the birth of this foundation and the inauguration of it, hopefully to help other families.
Well, thank you. So, with this being said, what do you hope other parents can take away from this?
A sense of awareness, first and foremost, about the dangers of police brutality that stem, ironically, from systems of violence within our own community. Ahjah was being bullied by her roommate. She had several problems that she was addressing within the framework of her own family system. And in response to those problems, she broke down and wound up in police custody. And so what I want parents to take away from this is a sense of engagement that they must have in the lives of their children. Active, proactive engagement, which I coined prevention. Get involved with your child, listen to your child, love your child, and get involved with the community that also embraces your child. That's critical. That's critical.
That is very critical.
We have to demand better.
Yes. So I hear you saying that we want to make sure that we're engaged at all age levels, because she was in college.
Yes, she was.
So certainly we want to engage parents with their children and their activities.
Absolutely.
From preschool all the way up through college. They can never be let go. We have to always embrace them and love them and take care of them. We know that in this day and time, their challenges are great. We also know that drugs are very prevalent in our communities, and we have to be very aware of that. So with that being said, what advice would you give parents over and beyond what you just said? Is there anything else that you can think of that we could do or say to parents to let them know it's extremely important to constantly be engaged?
You have to love, 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 love your child. I can't say it enough. I cannot say it enough. You know, the last conversation I had with her was one where I was accosting her. I was reprimanding her for not following rules and regulations within the campus. And I should have just been listening and loving. And it starts there. It starts there. That love, that unconditional love, that understanding, that just engagement, active engagement at every phase of their lives is critical. It's critical. And that love spills over toward our engagement within the community, because we demand better from law enforcement, from public officials, from school officials. The whole gamut is involved in terms of our loving engagement in the lives of our children.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you telling this story. I appreciate what you're doing for Ahjah, but I appreciate even more so what you're doing for our other students that's coming behind her. And the bottom line is, I hear you say love. Love is the key. So that's going to be our word for today. We want to love unconditionally without any strings attached. I invite you to listen to the Juanita Wallace show. If you're interested in being on the show, I'd ask you to call 972-803-3052. That's the Juanita Wallace Show. Thank you very much.